Patricia Cedarquist is suing the father of her child, Dirk Spikovius, for storage fees. Patricia claims Dirk abandoned his property at her home.
All rise.
Now, it's case number 23 on the calendar, the matter of Cedarquist versus Spikovius.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Travis.
Ms. Cedarquist, the defendant was your former boyfriend, and you have a 5-year-old child together.
Yes, that's right.
The complaint is an interesting one. You lived in a house together for a period of time up until when?
June of '07.
And at that time, you separated, and the defendant ultimately left the house. You claim he left the house, leaving certain property there. And the property remained there for 18 months. And you want him to pay storage fees for that property.
Yes, I do.
That's what your case is about.
Yes.
That's not going to happen. Did you have a storage agreement with him?
Yes, we did.
No, you didn't. You never had an agreement that he was going to pay you for storage. As a matter of fact, according to the defendant, which I believe, the reason that stuff was left in the house, at least part of the reason, was the ownership of the house was in dispute, and there was some legal action with regard to who was going to get the house. Is that true?
That's true.
Was the house in dispute?
Yes, it was.
Fine. And when was that dispute resolved?
I lost the action in the first part of '07.
Do you have an appeal pending?
Yes, we have an appeal pending.
At the same time, I understand, based upon your answer, a custody dispute. Is that correct?
That has been resolved now.
How has it been resolved, sir?
We were in the social services system for 18 months, and as of April 1st, the child has been awarded me as the full parent.
When you say you were in the social service system, what does that mean?
During our battles in the past, the police came out and had removed the child and put her into
This
protective
doesn't have
custody.
anything to do with the case, Your Honor. This is private information, and this is a different problem altogether. I don't want to bring my daughter into it. I'd like not to.
I have questions. If you don't want to answer my questions,
I'm just being protective of my daughter.
Your daughter is how old?
She's 5.
Yeah, tell her not to watch. Tell her not to watch. At this point, you're in the house. Some of his property was there. I want to see a copy of a contract that you had with him for storage of whatever property. These were auto parts. I want to see it. You have a copy of a contract?
I do.
I want
do
to see it.
in the sense
Just
that...
a second. Just give me a copy of a contract of a storage agreement that he made with you to store these auto parts in your house that you sold when?
The last 6 months. And I told him I was going to be selling them for storage, and he, in fact, helped me. I have proof here that he helped me with some of these listings, knowing I was selling them for storage purposes, storage fee purposes.
Show me a contract that you had. Show me.
A written contract that he signed?
Yes.
Not a verbal one?
No.
I don't have one.
And the stuff has been there since June of 2007. Is that correct?
Technically, it's been there
2006.
since 1989.
No, it hasn't, Dirk. No, that's not true. That's
When
not true.
did you first move into the house, Miss Cedarquist?
I moved into the house in of '02.
Sir, I don't understand how it could be there in 1989 if you moved into the house. If she didn't move into the house until 2002.
He
I
lost
purchased
the
the house in 1989. It's been my house. And
Just a minute.
You lost the house in foreclosure.
Oh, forget it. Oh, forget it. Okay. Very good. Now, you have a counterclaim. I'm prepared to hear your counterclaim in about 30 seconds.
Right.
You have a counterclaim for her selling your stuff on eBay?
That is correct.
Did you ever give her permission to sell your stuff on eBay? Just answer the question. That requires a
No.
yes or a no.
No.
I don't believe it. You just started to give me a reason. Did you ever give her permission to sell your stuff on eBay?
Yes, when we were together.
I have proof that shows him giving me permission just months ago.
Mr. Spikovius, if the plaintiff has proof that you gave her permission after June of '07 to sell your property on eBay, I'm not going to be happy with you, sir. Do you understand?
I understand that.
All I want to ask you is, did you give her permission since June of '07 to sell any of your auto parts on eBay?
No.
Fine, show me the proof.
This is
Because
communication.
that's you. Now I'm dealing with his counterclaim. I'm already resolving your claim for storage, which is nonsense.
Well, this is his. This is,
Nonsense! Did you ever write to her, be extremely careful, the bolts break easy, and it's easy to mess up the strip? Yes, take off the lights and sell separate? And that was written in May of 2008.
Not in May 2008. No.
Well, that's when it's, I mean, I don't do this machine well, and I certainly don't do eBay well. Isn't that date Saturday, May 24th, 2008? Isn't that what it says, Bird?
That's what it says.
Want to show this to him? May of '08 is after June of '07.
Yes.
Can I also
understand.
ask you to look at the pictures of of how much stuff there is?
I don't care. You lived in this house together. You lived in this house as a couple. He lived in this house separately. You lived in this house separately. I gather there was some sort of ongoing dispute with regard to the ownership of the house and who should get the house. You got the house. he got the kid. That's the way it worked out. If you're not happy with that, that's too bad. But that's the way it is. You have a child who's 5. Start getting along with each other because you're tied to each other for a long time. If he has primary physical custody of this child, now, in the foreseeable future, you better be nice to him and stop irritating him. And you the same, sir. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay? You got to start loving your daughter more than you hate each other. And stop fighting over nonsense,
Yeah,
like storage fees for auto parts.
I have lived my
Listen to
whole
me.
life has been
Listen to
revolved
me.
around
Hey,
these parts.
Listen to me. I'm not hearing any more about your stored auto parts. Do you
Then they're
understand?
mine.
Do you understand?
Then they're mine. I understand.
Perfect.
Patricia Cedarquist says the father of her child, Dirk Spikovius, owes for abandoning his property at her home. Dirk is countersuing Patricia for check fraud and for selling his belongings on eBay.
Now, you still have any property at her house?
Yes, I do.
You have 5 days to go and get the stuff. If you do not get it within 5 days...
Your Honor, I've lived with these for so many years and fought with the city over it, the neighbors. What about damages?
Ms. Cedarquist, listen to me carefully. Didn't you have your listening ears on? You have a 5-year-old child that you're hell-bent on protecting.
Yes.
Listen to me carefully. You are tied to him. He is now the primary physical custodian of your 5-year-old.
That will change.
It may, and it may not. And irrespective of whether it changes or not, both of you, based upon the fact that they gave him physical custody now, are going to have input in this child's life. And if a court finds that you're going to impede that, no court will give you custody of a child. I wouldn't give you custody of a child if I felt for 1 second that by giving you custody of this child, she was going to be deprived of her father. And that's the sense that I'm getting from you, Ms. Cedarquist. That is the sense that I'm getting from you. Put your listening ears on. You gotta love your child more than you hate each other. He's gonna come within 5 days and pick up all of his junk. And whatever he doesn't pick up with a marshal within 5 days belongs to her.
I gave him so many opportunities.
Hey, I'm speaking. Don't you get it?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Whatever you don't pick up now
In 5
is
days.
hers. Now, based on this, that you can't explain to me, that suggests to me that you lied to me when you said that after June of 07, she never had permission to sell any of your stuff on eBay.
Correct.
So if she sold any of your stuff on eBay for whatever costs, I'm dismissing that part of your counterclaim. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now I'm going to get to this other part of your counterclaim if you still want to pursue it.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
During our breakup, she stole a checkbook and proceeded with check fraud.
You broke up in June of 07,
Correct.
and she stole your checkbook.
Correct.
And when did she write a check out?
She wrote a check out in February 7th of 07. Several checks.
Yes, and when did you find out about it?
Later that month, when
In
my bank
February.
account,
Why in the world would you think that I would entertain that 2 years later?
because knowing that she doesn't have any money, I wasn't going to pursue it. It was a lost cause.
Well, then you should have pursued it in a more timely fashion. The doctrine is called latches. You sort of waited too long, sir. What else? I'm going to put your listening ears on, too.
Other than a collection agency,
You got to love your child more than you hate each other.
I do.
Good. How often does your daughter see her mother?
2 hours, twice a week, monitored.
By whom?
I was not allowed to be the monitor.
Of course not.
And
I can understand
so
that.
her son and her daughter do the monitoring.
Do they come to your house or do they take the child to her house?
I drop the child off, and sometimes the grandmother drops the child off.
And she comes back. And that's
I
been
pick her
going
up.
on since when?
As of the beginning of this month, April,
Prior to April, where was the child living?
with me,
Okay, and prior to that, where was she living?
with the paternal grandparents,
With your parents?
with my parents.
Okay, fine. Very good. Listen, try to get along, because if you don't get along with him, you don't want to be relegated to 2 hours twice a week with your daughter.
That will change.
I doubt it.
Oh, it will.
Oh, I doubt it.
I don't.
No, I doubt it.
No, they haven't heard everything that
I
they
doubt
need
it.
to hear about this man.
I doubt it. Your case is dismissed. So's your counterclaim. That's all.
Ladies
And
and
now the next case.
all parties in the matter of Malburn versus Malburn, step forward, please.
Thomas Malburn is suing his son, Oscar Malburn, for the return of payments made. Oscar is countersuing for damages to the bike.
Mr. Malburn, this is your son.
Yes, ma'am.
According to your complaint, your son took back a motorcycle that he had previously sold to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And he sold to you, and the conditions of the sale were that you were taking over payments.
Yes, ma'am.
Because he could no longer make the payments on the motorcycle that he purchased. You wanted it. You said, I'll take it off your hands. I'll make the monthly payments. He held the title until the payments were made. You made the payments for how long, sir?
16 months.
And then your son came and took back the motorcycle.
Yes, ma'am.
You want the payments that you did, in fact, make on the motorcycle during that time. Your son says that you violated the agreement because you made your payments late, thereby potentially damaging his credit, and he had every right to take it back. He has a counterclaim that is nonsense. he wants to charge you for renting the motorcycle on a weekly or daily basis. That's dismissed out of hand because that was never your agreement. When did you buy this motorcycle?
August of 2007.
And how much was it?
It was $18,000.
What kind of work were you doing at the time?
I was doing construction, stair builder.
Is this the only vehicle you had?
No, I had a car.
When did you make this arrangement with your father to take over your payments?
In February or March of 2008.
Why?
Because I had lost my job
When did you lose your job?
in February.
When was the last time you had made a motorcycle payment?
January or December.
You had missed a payment.
Yeah,
Well, if you missed a payment, then your credit was already down the tubes, right?
somewhat.
Somewhat. But you had missed a whole month.
Yeah.
So when your father took over your payments, he made 2 payments to catch up. Correct?
Yeah.
That would be a yes.
Yes.
And did he make the payments each month after that?
He made them each month after that, but he never made them on time.
When were they due?
They were doing the 17th of every month.
Did you make the payments on the 17th of each month?
No, I did not.
Because you're going to show me the payments that you made, right?
Yeah.
Let me see them. You have your checks?
No, I do not. I made it off all through the phone
When did you take this bike back from your father?
in March.
How much had you paid for the bike?
I paid from August to December.
So you paid for 5 months,
Yeah.
and your father paid for 16 months.
Yeah.
Where's the bike?
In my garage.
You have to give it back to him.
No.
Oh, yeah, you do.
No.
Oh, yeah, you do. You have no defense because the only defense that you presented to me was that you took the bike back because your father made the payments late, thereby jeopardizing your credit. In order for you to be able to establish that he jeopardized your credit, you have to have some credit to jeopardize. You already damaged your credit in December 2008 when you missed a payment. And then, according to your own statement, you made your payments late. So what difference does it make if your father made the payments late or you made the payments late?
No, I made my payments on time.
Did you? Show me you made your payments on time. You can't. And you made a contract with your father. And the contract with your father was he was going to make the payments on your motorcycle, which he did for 16 months. And at the end of that period of time that took into consideration the entire loan, the title to the motorcycle would be given to him because that was your contract. He actually owned it. It was no different from you were acting as a car dealership. I'm holding the title till you make your payments. As soon as you finish your payments, I'm going to give you the title. That's what you did. You have a written contract with your father?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see it.
Yeah,
Your Honor,
Can
I have the contract, but he doesn't.
I want to see the contract. As to whom it may concern, I am selling my Harley Davidson to my father, Thomas. He will be making the payments on the motorcycle. However, the loan will remain in my name. I am releasing any and all claims of ownership to this motorcycle permanently. And you signed it. He gets the motorcycle back.
No.
Oh, yeah, Marshall's going to come and take it right from your house.
Your Honor,
What?
the motorcycle is in his name. The loan was taken out in his name. So
Yeah.
legally, the motorcycle is his.
Are you on his side? I'll dismiss
No,
your
Your
case.
Honor, I'm not,
You
but-
either have 2 choices. Either I dismiss your case or you go get the motorcycle. You have a valid contract.
No, I'm just looking for the money
Sorry,
back.
you have a valid contract. He permanently released to you any claim of ownership of this motorcycle. This, in conjunction with an order from me, could be presented to a marshal, and you can go and get the motorcycle. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And there was also a verbal
And the contract,
between
there
the two
can't
of
be
us.
listen to me, I want you to listen to what the law is. The verbal contract cannot be admitted if there is a written contract. You cannot modify a written contract with a verbal one. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Nothing in this piece of paper says that the loan has to be paid on the 17th of the month. It says that you permanently relinquish any claims to ownership of the motorcycle. That's what it says. That's what I'm holding you to. You signed it. We'll prepare the order. Thank you very much. Case is over.